Hi, my name is Oganze Matthias Joseph, and I'm working with Nursery Catherine. This is our EDA code, and then I'm going to explain the first part, and then you should explain the other part. So we started the code with imports. So we imported the zip file, the OS and CV2, the matplot, the NumPy, Panda, and then also SK image. So these imports will help us to unzip the file, and then we also help us with working while working with directories. And then we shall also use matplotlib for plotting graphs, and then the NumPy and Panda working with the data from the images. And then the SK image features will help us in converting data into grayscale and also processing the images. So here we started with importing uh, the graphs, the zip files by defining the path for a zip file. So our zip file is located in the downloads under compressed dicto images of defective and good tire conditions.zip. That's our file we are using. And then the extracted images, the extracted underscore there is saving the images to the extraction folder. And then we have good tire folder, and then the defective tire folder. Then after the extraction, we are having, after the extraction, we are checking if at all like the folder extraction underscore dir exists. If it doesn't, then this function will create a folder and then to save there the extracted images. Then we continue with still extracting. So this function, the extract the zip file, is extracting the images from the zip file. Then after it prints out a message, extraction complete. Then we also store the extracted files, extracted features from the images in these subfolders. Then here we are processing our images. So the function process images in a folder and label. It's helping us to process the images that we have extracted from the zip file and then converting them into CV2 files for reading. I think I'll stop here and Catherine takes on.
Hi there, my name is Nasari Catherine, and I'm going to take over from where my counterpart Matthias stopped. So we're processing images here, and I'll start again. From the path that we had where the images were extracted from, we get these images, and as you see here, it runs through the images using this for function. So if the image does not exist, it will continue with the process. So then it uses this CV2 file. As you can see, it's used for checking out the properties of the image, and then it will resize them. Our images were heavy. They had 3000 x 3000 pixels. So we shall use this to resize the image, and then we shall create a variable called gray image, and then we recolor them using the blue, green, red to gray algorithm. So with this, we shall use GLM graphs. GML graphs are gray level co-occurrence matrix. It's used to analyze texture, and it specializes in spatial relationships between pixel intensities of an image. Yes. So from here, it will look at our images and then come up with a correlation between them. Then from there, we shall use another one called the HOG graphs. which are called the histogram of oriented gradients. So it detects objects and shapes within the images, then captures the distribution between them. So it computes the gradient, then it will divide the gradient into small cells, computes the histogram, then the gradient orientations within the cell, it will normalize them and then come up with larger blocks to improve the robustness and lighting changes. Yeah, that is the HOG. So we have directories. Our images have a directory good, where you'll find the good tires, and then the defective. So it will first process the good images. There, as you can see down here, our process is running, but we can ignore that for now. And it will also process the defective tires. Then from there, it will convert our lists to NumPy arrays. Remember, we were storing our values before. Here, the extracted features, we created lists for them. And now these lists and these features are going to be converted. From here, we shall use a combined GLCM and HOG graphs, and then we put them together in the same space. I wanted to make it easier for us to retrieve those graphs. So from there, they will be subplotted. This is all trying to help us plot the graphs. These are how the graphs are going to appear. These are histograms. So this is used for plotting histograms. And that's the same thing that we are using here. So the first graph that will be plotted will be the GLCM contrast distribution. The second graph that will be printed will be the GLCM correlation distribution. And when we come to the HOG graphs, I chose to the feature box. Now the feature box will be looking at the features, light blue, within our images. And the other graph we chose was the violin plot. So once the images are done plotting, actually when it's done processing all the images, it will plot the values. Yes. I'm going to break down the features in the graphs that we have. And I will start with the GLCM graph, the contrast distribution. We shall have a subplot of 2, 2, 1, so which means we are getting two graphs and we want to distribute them and place them in one sample space. The first thing that I will do is to get the good GLCM features. These ones will be from the good tires. Then we shall plot them, and this will be placed in a color of green. Now, these are binary numbers, as you can see. They convert strings, and then they will be labeled good tires. So this would be part of the key. Now we shall have the defective tires here. The features from the defective tires will be placed against each other as well. They'll be converted and be plotted in the same sample space as the ones from the good tires. And they will be labeled defective tires, so they will appear red in our graphs. Now the title will be the GLCM contrast distribution. The y-axis will be labeled as the contrast, as you can see here. Then the y will be the frequency. Then those will be the legends. It will have a legend. For the next one, we shall have the correlation distribution, and it will be placed in a subplot of 2, 2, 2. So this is the matrix, and then its position will be the 2. So here we shall have the features from the good ones. They will be plotted again. This is the correlation distribution, so I think they will be different. The correlation will be showing how similar one tire is to the other. Now, from there, they will plot the good tires and they will appear green in our graph. For the defective ones, they will appear red. And the title will be the correlation distribution, as you can see here. We shall be having correlation on the x-axis and then frequency on the y-axis here, and those will be our legends. Then we shall have the HOG feature plot box, and we shall have it within the 2-2 subspace, but this time it will be in the third position. So if this was our sample space we have here, the first graph will be in this position, second graph would be around here where my image is, then the third position, this is where the HOG will be. And so you have this box space here, and it will get these features and tally them against each other. And yeah, the title will be the HOG feature box, and then in the Y label, we shall have the HOG features. These ones are different. You will see how they turn out at the end. So then we shall have the violin plot. Violin plot is like it's like a more detailed version of this. Okay, it's complementary. If this is like the beginning, then this would be like the part B. Yeah, that's it. So this one will get the violin plot and get the features from the good ones and from the defective ones. Then it will show the relation between them. So they turn out to be the kind of X-ray. I mean, they turn out to be like violins. They have that kind of shape. Yes. So the title will be the violin plot, and we shall have the feature values. Now we want to put all these graphs in the same space, in the same with this. So we shall use this. And then we shall use the plot.show, show all the graphs we have. Then once it's done, it will say the feature extraction and visualization is complete. Here. So now you see our execution is done, and now our image has been plotted. This is how it looks like at first glance. So you'll have to first adjust it. We can use this. It's going to respond. So I'm going to increase the space a bit so that we can see the features very well. And yeah, my counterpart Matthias is going to take you through the first two graphs, and I will go through the next two.
So these were the graphs that were able to retrieve from what? From our dataset after running the EDA code. The first graph, the GLCM contrast distribution, or what we can call the gray level co-occurrence matrix contrast distribution. The contrast distribution shows the level of contrast of a pixel to its neighbor within the entire data set. So it compares one image to its immediate neighbor like that within the entire data set. So the green mark indicates the good tires, and the red mark indicates the defective tires. So the good tires have a broader contrast, and as you can see here, they are next to the lower values, which indicates they have a smoother texture. Then the defective tires have a more contrast, which can be overlapping sometimes, indicating that they have a rougher texture. Then we also have the GLCM correlation distribution. So the correlation distribution shows how correlated an image is from its neighbors. So the good tires still have a green color, and then defective have red color. So the green tires have more correlation, which is close to 1, indicating that they have a smoother texture, while the defective tires have a lower correlation, which is also scattered, indicating they have a what? They have a rougher texture. I think that's all. Then Kathy will take you through the whole graph features.
Yes, thank you. I have come back to explain the histogram feature box plot, and As you can see here, that the good tires have a short tail, which means the distribution is more compact and symmetric, showing that they are uniform edge patterns. As for the defective tires, they have a longer tail because the distribution suggests that there are a variety and possibility of irregular shapes and patterns. As for the violin plot, it usually shows, it extends the box plot by visualizing the full distribution of the values. And here you could say that the good tires have a distribution that is more compact and symmetric, just as we said before, and the uniform edges that my counterpart was talking about, they usually have uniform edges. Then as for the defective tires, because they have different features and they have different conditions amongst them, you realize that they have a wider tail. And here in the violin plate, you can see that it's a bit shorter or wider on the edge. Yeah, so it takes the wider edge or the wider tail explains that there is an irregular shape or pattern within the set of images we have. So that's it from us. Thank you very much.